Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone's doing well. Today I want to go over what a potential Bitcoin spot covered call ETF could look like and who might be better suited for this particular endeavor. So first we have to go over what the price point could be and like what the potential expense ratio would be. And then of course, will there be a Bitcoin covered call ETF? And I think the answer is yes, because technically, we have Bitcoin futures covered call ETFs like Maxi and Neos might be coming out with their version hopefully soon if the SEC approves everything. But let's take a look at like a lot of people compare the Bitcoin spot ETF to GLD because this is like the proxy for gold. So they're thinking, well, if Bitcoin is like the new digital gold, it should at least come close to what I guess like what GLD could do. So GLD, I guess like recently can get around like 7 million shares traded per day, and it has a pretty deep options chain. So this will be a logical kind of like a proxy. So the GLD like the price is like 1/10 like the size of what the spot gold price would be. And also a bonus, recently, they've added more option chains. So basically, they're almost like a zero DTE, but not quite because they only trade so far on Wednesday and Friday. But that could also, I guess, like if enough volume picks up, hopefully there'll be more like kind of more traditional zero DTE. So I'm guessing like what the price points could be if it's like 1/100th of the size. Like so let's say Bitcoin like right now is like hovering between 40,000 and 45,000. So 1/100th of that will place it like at like around 450, and that's kind of like the approximate size of what MicroStrategy stock is in terms of like just price, not in terms of valuation. So, and this is assuming Bitcoin stays in the five-figure range, which, at the way things are going, it could go past like 50,000 and beyond. Because the last cycle it reached almost 70,000. So, a lot of people are hoping for like, somewhere around that region or more this cycle. So far, for the ticker symbols, BlackRock, has proposed IBTC. The Invesco is supposed to be BTCO. Wisdom Tree is BTCW. Fidelity as FBTC, which sounds kind of bad, but hey, I guess it is what it is. But and VanEck is HODL, so that's a really good ticker symbol name. So I think between BlackRock and VanEck, those will probably get like the most amount of like shares traded. So it would be logical for like either YieldMax or Defiance or whoever wants to take a stab at doing a cover call ETF. It will probably be on these two. I'm expecting 50 to 75 basis points as an expense ratio. Ideally, just because like there's already so many people filing for a spot ETF, I think that would be a good way to kind of like get market share. So the ARC Bitcoin ETF supposedly has around 80 basis points. So I'm thinking like one of these big guys could try to like undercut them. So that's why I'm thinking 50 to 75 basis points. Going moving forward. And in this current situation, these are all the number of like participants in the Bitcoin spot ETF race. There's even a like a funny recent filing from a company called Pando, no relation to me, Panda. So let's I'm crossing my fingers they'll be approved. I guess like people say like maybe like mid-January. And then don't forget there's also Ethereum spot ETFs. In the pipeline. Hopefully, I really hope the SEC approves them. So my expectation, if you want to attract like the most amount of like value and liquidity, which is important for any stock or ETF. You need like a affordable price point. So which is like when I say affordable, I mean kind of like a low price point. So a Bitcoin spot ETF will probably be like 1/100th or 1/1000th of a spot Bitcoin just to make things easier for like the little guy to handle. The ETFs and the options need to offer like a chance for yield rather than just like hodling Bitcoin in your cold storage or your however you store your Bitcoin. Uh, and I'm pretty sure someone is going to release this Bitcoin spot ETF covered call product because it wouldn't make sense to like just like have it sit out there. Like I'm pretty sure people want to make money. But all the I guess like the main question would be like who and like how fast can they actually get it done. So like BlackRock iShares, they already have a covered call product for one of their biggest uh, holding. So that they have like TLTW, um, and then GLD is already has 0DT light expiration cycles. Um, it's just YieldMax already has like a lot of heavy hitters like Coney, Square, and a MicroStrategy fund in the works. Since these three are already somewhat Bitcoin related, uh, and I guess in the case of Coney, it's more crypto related. Um, I'm thinking it probably makes more sense for Defiance to do it. Maybe they'll call it BITY or BTCY, whatever they choose. Um, and I kind of wanted to provide you guys like a rough estimated yield range. It should be much better than like stuff like BITO and like Maxi. Uh, um, and I'm assuming of like a few things. I'm assuming like it'll like one that'll have like a kind of like a high price like MicroStrategy, and then I'm also assuming that at the beginning that they'll have like either weekly or monthly option exploration cycles shortly after launch, and if we're really lucky, we'll have like 0DTE light similar to how GLD and SLV has. So let's assume like first it'll be in like a kind of like the high price range of MSTR. At the time of this recording, the price changes pretty fast. It was close to like 600 um, recently, and then like today because of the Bitcoin, like I guess there's either a correction or people taking profits or whatever the reason is the price of MicroStrategy took a dip. But I think this is a reasonable approximation for what we can expect. If they sell a 20 delta call, and we get on a weekly cycle, that could be, we're collecting like $436 dollars worth of premium. And assuming everything goes right, so this is like a kind of a very ideal scenario. So that would get us to like over 70% annual. Again, like everything has to be, everything has to go right with a minimum of losses. So keep that in mind. And then I also kind of like did an estimate of what, if they're only doing like a monthly covered call, also at the 20 delta, uh, 20 delta, collect only 100, little less than like $150. Again, this is like a perfect world scenario. But even then, like that's still respectable at over 20% annual. And they also assumed a kind of like a lower price point if they do like 1/1000th of like whatever uh like the Bitcoin spot price would be. So let's assume like you know we have a low price point, and then we have like weekly exploration cycles, also selling the 20 delta call. You're collecting 17, almost $18 worth of premium, and then that would get us to like an 80% like annual rate. Again, assuming everything goes well, and then we have a BIT like the kind of like the low price level on monthly exploration cycle, also at selling a 20 delta call. Again, if we're only selling monthly, we have like less chances to make money. So this is why like we'll get still respectable 23% annual rate. And of course, like things could get better or worse depending on what calls that they decide to sell. If they move closer to the money, then obviously the rate will increase. But again, this is all speculation at this point. But it's good to have like kind of like scenarios just because to imagine like what a like a Bitcoin Defiance ETF could look like. And I think that would be like fantastic. But again, this is just like projections. Uh, in crypto, like a lot of crazy stuff can happen. Um, so I think like since like 2024 coming up, it should be a good year. It really depends on if like Gary the Grinch Gensler will approve like these Bitcoin ETFs. You know, a lot of people have been waiting. So hopefully keep our fingers crossed. Hopefully we get a lot of more good stuff in 2024. If you like this type of content, please consider giving it a like. I just want to thank all the new subscribers that have come aboard. Thank you very much, and of course to my old subscribers, um, I want to thank you guys as well for being with me in the beginning. So I hope everyone has a great day, and I hope people are making money out there. Thank you, and have a great one.